Hello and welcome to another live. So, for those of you guys who might have missed it, I did take a little bit of time off. Just kind of have a lot going on in life. Kind of needed some time to get my head on straight, more or less. Um, it's still not on straight. Still got a couple of fucking screws loose. Um, but I guess that's part of life. That's part of the human condition, I guess. The one thing I will say is it makes the music better. You know, going through any kind of mental issues or anything of any kind of significance. It really kind of puts things into perspective when writing a record or a new song. A song I'm really connecting with, kind of in that same sense lately. A song actually just came out today, so I can't even really say lately. For those of you guys who know, Black Veil Brides, my favorite band, they just dropped a new single today called Vindicate. Their last two singles that they dropped for the new record didn't hit with me right away. They were kind of, they were like a slow burn. Like they really had to set in with me to really enjoy them. But when I did, it was awesome. This one I just loved right away because it feels like it was written in headspace similar to some of the things I've been dealing with lately, for sure. It makes me feel better in that sense of like I don't feel so alone. It's always really nice when somebody actually can genuinely connect with the things that you're going through. So the song feels like it was written from like almost like I wrote it, and I love that. The track is called Vindicate. If you haven't heard it yet, do yourself a favor, look it up. Really good song. It feels like it's a little all over the place, but it also feels very coherent. Do it. So, for those of you guys who don't see in the chat some of the things that pop up, for some reason I do not understand why the chats from certain platforms don't always appear in the video. I actually have to keep an eye on the platforms to check them. With that being said, Miranda, I absolutely agree. And two, I don't know if you saw, this kind of blew my mind. If you look at the credits on that song, Ben Bruce from Asking Alexandria actually helped do some of the writing on that new song, which blows my mind. I think the guys have absolutely evolved to an entirely different level. But my favorite thing about the song is the snotty, base level, angry hatred that they have in these songs, because a lot of it is just how I've been feeling lately. There's so many challenges that I've been overcoming personally that I just really connect with that like aggression, and I feel like Andy and I have a lot in common with that specific style of like lyricism of just, hey, fuck you world, here I am, here's what I do. Hello Jessica, Jess. Neighbor. I think that's one of the things that I have always just attached myself to very heavily with these guys, is they write from the same place that I write from, and this new song just goes so. And two, the intro to the song, I never would have in a million years thought that they would use 7 strings, by the way. Like, I know that Jake is a really shreddy dude, but I would have never really thought that these guys would just drop it, But I've been loving it. It's crazy, and two, they still kept like the breakdowns and the solos and the things that made them who they are. So you've got to love that. I actually thought about playing the music video on the live tonight for people and doing like a reaction thing. But with copyright laws and other things, I don't want to get tangled up in anybody's shit. You know, I don't want to step on anybody's toes. I'm sure I could probably send a couple of messages to some people to get the green light for that. But also, I don't want to bug people with, you know, I just don't want to bug people. That's my big thing. Like, everybody's got their own shit going on, so. They're coming to Madison in May. I'm going to try to make it to the show. There's a low ticket alert on it, which makes me a little worried because I'm a little short on cash because the second week that I missed was on a little bit brighter of a note, but I mean, still, you know, trying to still take time off to, you know, get my head on straight and, you know, pull my head out of my ass a little bit. We were actually in Oshkosh seeing my first ever stand-up show. We went and saw Bert Kreischer. Hilarious man. If you haven't heard of him, do yourself a favor. Go to Netflix as soon as you're able, and you should watch his specials. This dude has made me laugh until I cry, and it was super cool actually going to see him perform live. But with that being said, unfortunately, I'm a little low on funds to score tickets. I'm hoping that if the show does sell out, I can maybe just make guest list for that one, but I'm not banking on that. I always try to buy tickets first. That's my big thing is, you know, if you can buy the tickets for a show to support the artists, always do so. But I'm sure CC would understand and throw me a guest list. But how's everybody's week? I know it's been a couple weeks since I've been doing this, so one of the things I look forward to is conversing with everybody. So you guys are choosing to move out west at the worst time. It's getting nice here now. You know, it's like the opposite of snowbirds. Hopefully you guys are still around and are able to make the show. And if you're not, hopefully you are able to hit one of the shows wherever you guys are moving to. Like, it is a good time. For anybody who has not seen Black Veil live, I highly recommend it. They're an amazing live performance. They always try to change up their set list. I have seen these guys, I can't even count. Like, it's an insane number, trust me. Everybody always asks, like, why would you see a band if you've already seen them? Because they're fucking cool. I mean, every show is different. Like, every show of a band that I've seen multiple times, they've grown as musicians, so they have a completely different sound than they had before. They also just play 10 times harder than they ever have because they're always trying to one-up themselves. And two, artists and bands write a bunch of new material all the time. So, I mean, you might see a band in 2019 and then you see them in 2026 and they have 2 brand new albums out since then. They have new singles. They just have new material in general. So, I mean, truly it is worth seeing a band. If you love a band enough, it is worth seeing them multiple times for sure. But I hope everybody has been having a good week. Also, I hope you guys are enjoying the All Black Horizon music that we play on stream here. I only have one record out at the current time, but I'm really hoping to get more music out. I've got notebooks on notebooks of new material. There's a couple of projects that I'm working on that are taking a higher priority. Still musically, I mean, like it's still through All Black Horizon, I'm still working on all that. But there's a couple of songs that are on the top of my like work on and finish list. I'm also still trying to work with a few artists to maybe get like feature work and things of that nature, which is sometimes a nightmare. Um, yeah, catching them on headlining shows is tough. Um, like they're always doing headlining shows, but they're also always doing support shows. A lot of the headlining shows I feel like they've played over the years have they've traveled to a lot of different places that weren't. I mean, they did the co-headlining tour with Ice Nine and Motionless. Unfortunately, though, drove all the way out to Oshkosh from home to find out that Andy had COVID, and so the Brides had to cancel the show. I regret my decision a little bit, but we actually bailed on the show. We didn't get a refund or anything because that's rude. We bailed on the show just because we wanted the experience to be the Trinity of Terror tour. Like the fact that it was those three bands one night, we really, really wanted to see that show. So with one of the three falling off of the tour, and they didn't even fall off. They took a break. They were gone for like 4 shows. But it was like we wanted to see the show the way it was intended to be seen. So we skipped it and ended up doing a bunch of other shenanigans around town. We did actually get to see the Trinity of Terror though. When we went to When We Were Young in Vegas, the Trinity lineup was actually playing on that stage. So it was literally Black Veil, Ice Nine, and Motionless, which is crazy because Motionless actually ended up being late. I really wanted to. I do regret it because I do. Ice Nine and Motionless are in my top 5 for sure. It was a really tough decision because that was going to be the first show that I had gone to in quite a few years. And in my younger years, I used to go to every show. Excuse me. It didn't matter what the show was. If I wanted to see a band, I would go. Like I would go to Warped Tour every year. Anytime any of my favorite bands were coming around town, I would go and see it. And so, you know, I'd been burnt out because I've been out of the scene for so long. So I was already really on the fence about even seeing the show in its entirety. I go through depressive spells a lot. It is insanely hard to live with depression. It fucking sucks. And that was kind of what got the better of me on that show was just going through a lot of stuff at the time and being very upset and just down and out and feeling general burnout. And so unfortunately, when I found out for that situation, I kind of took it. I feel bad. I really wish I would have gone. I'm just super glad that we still got the opportunity to see the show the way it was intended to. Even though it was on a big festival stage, we were still able to see it, which is cool. So for those of you guys who come in and check this out fairly regularly, I'm still in the works of trying to get guests on the show at some point. I feel like it would be a lot of fun to have somebody else here to banter with and give you guys a better show, and just to kind of grow the audience a little bit, because I mean anytime you bring a guest on, you co-mingle your audiences. So I feel like that would be a lot of fun to create a diversity for everybody. Yeah, isn't that weird how that happens? Like you go from being this insanely social person, just everywhere. You're always out and about, and social butterfly, and then you just kind of turn into a hermit after you haven't done it for a while. It's the weirdest thing. I don't understand how that works. It's so weird. Especially when it comes to things that you love too. Like when you start to, just kind of not want to do the things that you love, it's crazy. It feels very disorienting, honestly. I wish I could reduce the layer of that background. So for those of you who are unaware, I am still in a huge learning curve with the software that I use to go live every week. and they have thrown yet more curveballs into my direction. Um, they've changed a bunch of things, added a bunch of new features, and I'm like, man, I just started getting the hang of how this all worked before. So, um, definitely a pain in the ass. Still trying to figure out how the majority of this shit works. How's this look? That is terrible. Let's not do that. How is this one? No, there's no breaking news. Maybe breaking news. Maybe. Thank you for watching. We're not ending. See, just learn all sorts of new silly things. How's this? Is this look okay? Yeah, you know what? Maybe. Well, we can rock this. I think. I wish it was better in the sense of more cohesiveness, but let's try. Yeah. Sorry, at this point I'm just being a child and just playing around like a kid with a new toy.
We are young and we are strong. Through strength itself we become something more than they can.
Thank you for asking that. Actually, I genuinely do not know. I'm hoping soon. But Whammy kind of drags their feet. But Whammy definitely, they're a great company, they're a great organization. Unfortunately, I myself am not really in like the inner circle and the inner workings of Whammy. So it's I appreciate it. I'm sure he would know basically everything that I want. It's mostly just random preference stuff at this point. Like I've got a lot of like the basics down. It's just more or less like it sucks because a lot of the things that I want to learn and do with this software are stuck behind a paywall. And I unfortunately do not make any money doing any of this stuff. Like I at this point just do it to do it. So it's like it's not worth like if I had a little bit bigger of an audience, like I think even if I was like getting like into like the 20s or so for viewers every week, I might be able to justify like doing things that are locked in the paywall. But at least this just kind of takes care of the base work. And it sucks too because like the camera that I have is very high def. Like what I see, I absolutely love. But then when I watch on my other screen over here, significantly less quality, which is insanely unfortunate. But again, they lock it into one of those situations where I have to pay to give you guys better quality, and that really fucking sucks. Dude, it does. It severely sucks. I've been trying to force myself to do more things too. That's great. Like I'm super glad that you're trying to force things and that you're like getting things to kind of force yourself into more social situations. It's not easy, and that's kind of the step that you have to take is just saying I'm gonna fucking do it and do it. So it's funny. I talk a lot about all this stuff with people. I always give my advice and my perspective on matters of depression, anxiety, things like that. And that might help having a higher resolution TV. But like I see my frame rate come through Facebook and other things, and it looks okay, but I mean it doesn't look how it looks on my screen. And that might just be a settings thing, maybe. Can we go there? See, now I'm trying to watch it on something else. I guess it's not as bad on certain things. It's more or less the frame rate that gets me every time. Which if I upgrade, like you'll definitely notice. But back to what I was saying before. I always tell people like, yeah, you can beat depression and this and that. But yeah, I mean, the truth is like I am probably the worst person in the world to manage that myself. Like I give people all the advice in the world and all the help, but I'm also terrible at helping myself through all of those things. It is a curse for sure, but the way I always look at life is kind of through like a very narrow scoped lens where if I can help somebody else, that's what I feel like. I have like a hero complex, as I call it. I've had that my entire life, where I always try to help people and make their lives better. I mean, I've made my fair share of mistakes, though, for sure. I've definitely done dumb shit as a kid that has, resulted in hurting people and just kind of being a piece of shit. Um, yeah, I don't know why it does that. I think it's just the camera doesn't like the light. Like, I think that's another part of the resolution is if I was working with a better resolution, that stuff would definitely be better. Oh god. Yeah, see, there we go. But no, I made a lot of mistakes in my youth, even with that hero complex, because for years I feel like I've always just been kind of a selfish person also. So that definitely makes it tough. I think the biggest thing though is if you can learn from your mistakes and be a better person than you were yesterday, and still offer that help and have that that hero complex, that definitely counts for something. I feel, at least I hope. That's always the hope, is that you just as existing, just as a human being, that you can help somebody else to any capacity. And that's why I got into music, because I can take all the bullshit and all the experiences that I've gone through and that have just been part of my life, and hopefully help somebody else who's going through similar situations. I mean, I literally wrote one of the songs on the record about a shitty teacher. So for those of you who don't know, I was like a troubled kid. I was in the special ed classes, and even though I was a good kid, like I never got in trouble with the law, never, I wasn't a bad kid. I was labeled as a bad kid because of learning disabilities and teachers' lack of patience to deal with me. In these special classes, there was one teacher who was, for lack of a better term, just a super bitch. She was really rude to me all the time, and she always told me like, well, I don't give a shit if you pass. Like, if you drop out, like, I couldn't give a fuck less. And I actually did. I ended up dropping out. I do not have a high school equivalency. I do not plan to. And it's not because I don't want to. It's because at this point in my life, I have chosen to make it a stand that, like, yeah, sure, you were hoping that I would drop out, you're hoping that I would fail, but like, I dropped out, and guess what? I didn't fail. I continued to push forward, and now I have established a business. I'm married. I've got my own house, my own car. Well, like, house being a relative term. I do rent, but I'm not homeless, so that is a win. But I chose not to do this because I feel like I can be a successful individual without that title. And I actually wrote this song just as a giant fuck you to that teacher, because I applied myself in life, and I feel like I'm successful. Someday, if you ask me some days, like, are you successful? I will literally look at you, laugh, and be like, no. And that's just the depression that we were talking about, like, just kind of always being super down on yourself. It's funny, I said I dropped out of high school, and my viewer count dropped out much like I did high school. People are just like, man, this guy's kind of an idiot, let's get the fuck out of here. And that was the whole thing. Like, that was why I wrote the song. It's called "Deal with the Devil." Ironic, right? Goth kid, devil, whatever. But it's ironic. The original name of the track was "Sign in Blood," and it actually had quite a different structure and build to it when we wrote it. But then when I got the instrumentals back from my collaborator that I worked with, it had a very different vibe to it, and it was I think we have to change up how this and that's why in the song it says "and in blood we sign." That part is it's a reference and a callback to what the song was originally supposed to be. But do like if you listen to the song, like the very first words to the song, it's they said I couldn't do it. Like and the whole like beginning verse just talks about like people doubting you, and so essentially the deal with the devil bit is just kind of like it's like a metaphor for determination. Like I found my way to get there, and I'm gonna make something of myself, and so that's essentially my deal with the devil is to be moderately successful. I don't have to be famous. I don't have to be selling out the whiskey. I don't have to be like an Amazon level company. I don't have to be. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. I don't have to be all of these things. Like I can just be me, and that's good enough. Like it's. I pour my heart and soul into everything I do. So if what I'm doing can affect anybody, even on the smallest scale, that's all I've ever hoped for. It's been a long journey to get to the point that I am now. I've gone through a lot of hardship. I've lost friends. I've unfortunately had to say goodbye to family members. Countless sleepless nights, with blood, sweat, and tears. But I have made something that I feel is truly great, and I don't have plans to stop. I am pushing this train forward as far as I can take it. If one day I do sell out a venue, great. If one day my company does rise to Amazon level, great. These things won't happen, but if they did, I would be eternally grateful for every opportunity. When I was at the Bert Kreischer show, he said something that kind of resonated with me, and I honestly, I truly think that I'm going to remember this statement for the rest of my life. He had told a story, and he said, "Luck is everything." And to me, it's hearing that from this guy who was insanely successful and touring the world and doing stand-up comedy, I was like, the fuck do you mean luck is everything? And he had told a story that the story that launched his comedy career was a story from his high school days, or rather it was college or high school. To be honest, that line is still slightly unclear to me. But he had posted this story, and he thought it was funny, but it wasn't going anywhere. It's like, nobody cares, like whatever. And one day his wife approached him and was like, "Hey, you see your story's gone viral?" And he's like, "Shut up, no it's not, like whatever." And so he wrote it off, and then he checked like a day later, and it was like in the millions for views and like comments everywhere, and he was like, "Oh shit, my video went viral." And it was super cool because he was just lucky enough that one person saw it, sent it to another person, and like just kind of blew it up. And anything can happen. All it takes is the right person to find my music, find this record, and attach themselves onto something. And that's the thing too, is determination is everything. If there's anything in this world that you want to do, just fucking do it. Just grab the world by the throat. I started this project as just an individual with a goal and a dream. I wrote a single. I released that single. I found a couple of like-minded people to work with. Unfortunately, things didn't work out, and we had to part ways. But I feel like I was better for having known them. And then, fast forward, shit got rough with COVID in 2020, and I didn't know what to do. I knew I still wanted to make music. I still wanted to make a record, and so I really just applied everything that I had. And when my dad passed away in I had already parted ways with some of the guys I was working with, but I got in touch with somebody that I knew, and him and I sat down and we wrote a song as a send off to my dad. And initially, it wasn't even a send off. It was when I started writing the song. It was essentially like me pleading for his life, and then when things took a turn for the worst, it did become a send off. I released the song. I got it played with Rock 94.7 out of Wausau. Sent it to a few other places, and it was gaining some traction, and things were going good. And just as everything else did, the world just stopped. It halted. And so I didn't have a studio to work with. I couldn't get together with musicians and write. I couldn't work on any of the things I wanted to do, which was insanely disheartening for me, because like when you have passion, all you want to do is do that one thing. Not being able to do it is soul crushing. So I applied myself. I started writing. I got with a new collaborator, somebody that immediately him and I we clicked. Right off the bat, I gave him the material that I was working on, and he said, I really love this, man. I sent him some reference tracks of kind of like what I had for an idea when I was writing the lyrics. And he was like, I really love how this sounds. Like, I think we can really like take these ideas and do something with it. He wrote one song for me, and he sent it back to me. I made a couple of changes, but immediately when I got that song back from him, I knew that this was the guy that I wanted to work with. Like, he knew, it was almost like he was in my head when I was writing this. Like, he just got it. So fast forward to finding a studio to work with. Found a studio that I really liked. The engineer, I liked the setup. The engineer, the owner, gave me a weird vibe at first. Like, I kind of thought he was a bit of a dickhead. Fast forward, I was right. But finished the record, and I'm blown away at how people have received it. I mean, it's still not as successful as any of the artists that I listen to, but there's people out there that tell me that they enjoy the tracks, that they really like what I'm doing. They're not just and I don't mean this in any kind of like rude capacity to anybody, but people who aren't just like my friends being supportive. Like, I appreciate the hell out of the support that my friends give me, but like nothing flips your perspective of life on its head like having a stranger tell you, I love your shit, I love what you do. Like, to me, that's world warping, because the fact that somebody took the time out of their day to approach you and tell you, I like the thing that you created, is insane. Like, and too, like with having my business, when I come in there and I have a really rough day, shit's not going well, I'm in a bad headspace, the right customer comes in and they're appreciative of what we're trying to do, regardless of what other competition might be around. It makes you feel just 10 out of 10, top of the world. And so that's the biggest reason I get up out of bed in the morning and throw on my battle jacket and boots, is just to try to change the world and help other people. I guess we're kind of at that part of the night too, where I'd like to see if you guys have any questions for me about the process, about anything, actually. You know what? I was going to say about like the music process, because that's been what we've been talking about. But no, anything at all. I am going to try to do something that I did last week as well. And let's see if we can't get this guy working. Sick. Okay. I don't know why. I guess that's one of the platforms that works pretty well. So let me. For those of you guys who haven't seen it yet, I am going to go ahead and show you. Okay, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do this. For those of you guys who have not seen the music video yet, I would like to go ahead and share that with you guys now. So this is my first ever music video as an artist. I hope you guys like it. This was a lot of fun. A lot of shit went into writing this. Shout out to my director, Eddie Curran. Eddie is a hell of a dude. Put a lot of work into this thing. I'm hoping to work with him again. I mean, with the result that he was able to give me off of this, like, but I'm gonna shut up for a while and let you guys enjoy this.
In the shadows where darkness resides, a story unfolds where all hope will collide. Through the pain and the scars we bear, find the strength and we'll conquer despair. Let's swallow chaos, we'll find our way. Together we stand, we won't be swayed. We are the rebels, outcasts and lost. With fire in our souls, we'll pay the cost. We are the rebels, and we will never hide. We'll fight for our dreams side by side. In a world that's broken, we'll make a stand. The choices weapons will take command. Raise the chains and we'll break the mold. Unleashing passion, a story untold. Let's run the chaos, we'll find our way. Together we stand, we won't be swayed. We are the rebels, outcasts and lost. With fire in our souls, we'll pay the cost. We are the rebels, and we will never hide. We'll fight for our dreams side by side. We are the rebels, the outcasts and the lost. With fire in our souls, we will pay the price. So let the world hear our cry as we soar through the night. We are the rebels, the outcasts and lost. Fire in our souls will be We are the rebels, the outcasts and lost. With fire in our souls, we'll pay the cost. We are the rebels, and we will never hide. We'll fight for our dreams side by side.
Just to keep things rolling, I will go ahead and show you guys the lyric video as well. I know some people haven't seen this stuff yet, and I know it is fun to do the talks and the lives and the other things, but it's also fun to just show you guys some of the stuff that we've worked on. You know, it's rather than just hearing somebody talk about like, oh yeah, I know this thing, it's so cool. Like to actually kind of see a little bit of everything and see what the process is and kind of the end result is also fun for me too. So I'll again shut up for a little while and let you guys just enjoy it.
path with determination and grace, seeking forgiveness, leaving no trace. I'll cure the sins of my past, I'll find my way. In this journey of redemption, I'll never stray.
All right. So those are the two videos. I was going to say music video, but that's incorrect. Only one of them is a music video. So a little bit of context to that last song as well. That song was written from a pretty real place. The lyrics kind of got changed a bit. In the whole process of working on the record, they didn't get changed as much as I thought they would. But I was on my way to a show. I was heading to play in Portage, Wisconsin for the first time ever at Studio 301. And I was nervous as hell. But I was just kind of like, I'll enjoy the ride. Like this is good for me. So I took out my phone and I like to write things down on paper, but also sometimes it's not always viable to write, pen and paper. Sometimes it's just better to write through a digital platform. So, I took out my phone and I started writing because I found myself thinking about all of the mistakes that I had made. And it wasn't just like kid mistakes. It was like, I started thinking about my dad and things with him. And so I kind of found myself really reflecting on that and a lot of the things that I did that just made me a bad son. And so, I started writing these songs from the perspective of a bad son who was just wanted nothing more than to make amends, to make things better, to say sorry. And, it's too late to say sorry. So I kind of wrote that song in the sense of like, my dad and I were both very musically driven people, completely different genres. He was, country, ding, 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 and, I was always like, just the stupidly heavy kind of, metalcore, rock, you get the idea. And, but music was always the one thing that connected us. And so I kind of wrote the song in the perspective of, my music is my retribution, my way of keeping that legacy and that friendship alive forever. And just kind of trying to water under the bridge a lot of my mistakes that I had made. I know nothing is ever going to fix those things, but at least it's something that I can do to try to make it a little bit better, for sure. Started like so much heavy shit on you guys. It's guys, this is kind of why I took a little bit of time off. Just things have been insane lately. It's coming up on 6-year anniversary that we lost my dad, so things have been kind of rough there. Work has been just insanely hectic lately. It's just, you guys get it. Everybody goes through their own thing. That we all got our demons. Fuck, my blanket fell. I grab a blanket over this chair to make it look a little bit cooler, and every time it stays for most of the show, and then of course I just fix myself one time, and at one point it's just like bye. But just going through a lot of heavy stuff right now, and I appreciate you guys taking time out of your week to sit with me and just talk about life, talk about music, talk about experiences, watch my videos and listen to my music. It truly means a lot to me that you guys take the time to do all this stuff. So thank you guys very much from the bottom of my heart. But on that note, taking a look at the time here, I think it is time for me to bounce up out of here. It has been real. It has been fun. It has been real fun. Remember, always take care of yourselves, take care of each other, be safe, and hopefully, God willing, things are good. I will see you guys next week.